Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
So I'm calling because I've purchased some weather stripping products from you guys in the past. Real happy with them because I'm storing and making some French doors. And I'm looking for a solution to my storm doors that I've made, a weather stripping solution for them. Tell you about the doors I made. So they're, again, mahogany French doors, a hair over an inch thick, and I've made an astrogol that's going to overlap where the doors meet. And I'm looking for a suggested weather stripping that I could use where the door meets. I'm good around the outside edges, but I'm looking for something possibly that would fit on the back of that astrogol. Or I haven't applied the astrogol yet. If I need to cut a kerf maybe into the astrogol. Do you understand what I'm chasing?
Yes.
Any suggestions? I'm sorry?
Are the doors already made?
The doors are constructed, yes, but they're not hung yet, so I still can make small adjustments if needed.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you're making doors, that means you can mortise into the doors. I would have rabbited the edges myself. It's now too late for that. I wouldn't. An astrogol is obviously nice. Close that seam off. But if it was me, I would mortise the edge of one or both doors. One is really all that's required for a aluminum channel that you can slide a pile into. And the advantage of that is it's concealed when the doors are closed. It's elegant. You can mimic the ideas that you've already seen in catalogs where you apply something to the back face of your astrogol. Sure, that'll work. It doesn't need to be more complex.
Okay.
That would be my recommendation.
If I had to search the product that you are originally describing, the idea of rabbiting I assume you're talking about rabbiting the end, and would I be rabbiting the side of the door facing out or the side of the door facing in?
No, well, the doors are made, so you can't rabbit them. The term I used was mortise for this, and
okay.
that part number that I would use would be 97AS, as in 97 Alpha Sierra.
Okay, hold on a second. 97. So I could just type in the search 97AS.
Absolutely.
And what I'm getting is the Dorbin black pile adjustable double door. Yeah. So what is that? I see the first ones that come up look like a nylon brush.
Pile, but yes.
And pardon me, just because I'm not familiar with the product. What is a pile?
Well, a nylon brush would be substantially more rigid than something that would be quite soft in a much thinner strand, which we would call pile.
Okay. All right. For what it's worth, I've used. I tend to purchase Pemco products from you guys. Like the drop down door sweep that you mortise into the bottom of the door. So these are storm/screen doors that I'm trying to deal with now. I restored the original French doors, which are much thicker. I'm saying from memory, like 2.5 inches thick. Okay, so the doors are made, but this mortise can still be constructed.
It can be. It would have been ideal to have done it before you constructed the doors on a router table. But
yeah, no, but I went through this process of creating a mortise down the side of the door when I put the adjustable door sweep in for the. Yeah, so I'm capable of doing this. All right, what's that?
Everyone is. It's not hard. You just have to have the will, really.
So this is, what am I seeing here? So these are different lengths, and it's adjustable in the sense of how far it sticks out?
That would be true.
Well, when it says adjustable, is it adjustable in any other way, or is that's the adjustability of it?
Just the projection.
Gotcha. And I'm sure there's a range, what, like an 1/8 to 3/8 or 3/8 to 5/8?
Oh, I would say, yeah, I would say an 1/8 to 3/8. You would never need the amount of adjustability. If you did, you would never need what it could handle in terms of absolute adjustability, because it's just nice because it's concealed.
Now, let's with the French door, let's call one door non-opening, even though it opens, and one door is a non-primary door and one door is the primary door. I assume this looks like it probably applies to the non-primary door. Is that correct?
You could. Yeah, I mean, that's where I would put it. Active and inactive doors. I would put it on the inactive myself.
Put it on the inactive.
Yeah, or you can put it on both and have the pile, make contact. That makes for a nice seal as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting solution here. And then, it's not cheap.
Well, it doesn't have to be the solution you use. You can buy a 7-foot piece of self-adhesive of Pemco S88 and be done with it. It's just... Yeah,
I don't like anything that's adhesive. I'm not a fan of adhesive stuff. If I was going to do anything, I prefer to have something that has barbs on it and goes into a kerf. That's just me.
Yeah, but what would you kerf?
Well, so my original thought, and that's why I called, was to kerf the back side of the astragol, right? Right, because the astragol is half applied to the active door, and the other half floats. I'm using bad vocabulary here, but cut a kerf in the astragol, and a barbed piece of silicone stripping goes into that kerf, and that seals up that gap.
Would you make that kerf, perpendicular to the width of the astragol? Correct,
yes.
How thick is your astragol?
It's a pretty big astragol.
How thick is your astragol?
It's either 3/4, 7/8.
Okay, I see. I mean, yeah, that's epically thick. I get it. It's just, have you thought about what kerfed-in style weather strip you would actually use in that application? Because the reach, the projection of those items is not insignificant.
Well, the stuff I used for the door, give me a second, I got to pull it up, was the Pemco. The stuff I used for the other door was it was S104D.
Yeah, so sure. Yeah, so something, silicone that's going to crush down. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean.
And please, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm trying to find the best solution. The astragol hasn't been applied to the door yet. Why is that not working? The astragol hasn't been applied to the door. So I'm still at a point where I have, I can go different routes.
Yeah.
There's a hesitance.
Well, I mean, I've made stile and rail doors. I've done all of this, and that astragol needs to come down to like 7/16 thick, so it doesn't look odd, like a piece of lumber that someone nailed to the face of the door. And then
and if you saw these doors, the way they were made, and the detail on them, something that small would seem too diminutive. This is 3/4 thick, 2 inches wide. I mean, these are French doors that are almost 8 feet tall. So I appreciate you saying, it needs to be shrunken down a little bit, but I was actually going to go with, the lumber I was going to use was going to be 5/4. I ultimately switched to 1x. I definitely wasn't going to go smaller than that.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's your design then.
Good.
So, I like the idea of something kerfed because it's easy to do and it's easy to replace. That's the important part. I like your idea of weather stripping underneath the astragal because your line of defense is further out than mine. You're stopping it, it's going to get already halfway through your door thickness by the time it hits my weather stripping.
Right.
I find that what's really enjoyable 10 years down the road is you can pull it out in within 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. Repairability.
Yeah. So, I would probably look, that S104 is going to crush down. The issue is you're really going to be forcing it to crush down to almost nothing. And you're going to have to adjust modify the positioning of your strike. And that would be the other problem. If this is latching, you're going to have a problem with your strike lip.
Well, does the S104 crush down or does it squeeze between? Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. Are you going to be installing it right over the, let's say, 1/8-inch margin between the two doors?
Yes.
Yeah. The issue is you're going to have to bring it down when the door is closed, so the astragal is flat with the face of the inactive door as much as possible. Even though it's very small and you can take your fingers and pinch it to, 3/32 of an inch, you're still trying to stuff something between the face of what is the active door and the face of the inactive door.
Right.
Yeah. So that,
Is there a solution?
What I would probably do is take your astragal and get a dimension on what that S104 comes down to when you pinch it down, and then I would do 2 preps in the back of your astragal. I would do, let's say, a 7/16 wide, very shallow 16th sort of prep to give the S104 some room to cave into. And then I would make your 1/8 inch, or whatever the route is on the S104. I'd have to put my caliper on it, 1/8, 3/16, and then I would route that the depth necessary, which is probably 3/8 or something in that range. So you can give the S104 some breathing room because it's just not going to crush down the way you're going to need it to get that.
So you're saying almost to recess the S104 into the back of the astragal a little bit.
Yeah. No one's going to notice it, first of all, and second of all, you've got solid lumber, I imagine, so it's not like you're going to have
it's a mahogany door. Sorry, you said?
You've got solid lumber, I guess, on the astragal, so it's not like you're mortising, to something that's veneer wrapped or, particle board.
Correct. Every aspect of the door is made out of mahogany.
What type of mahogany do you use?
Well, I'm saying mahogany, but technically it's Sapele.
Yeah. My last house, all of my 2-panel doors in the house were stile and rail 1 3/4 Sapele, raised molding, raised panel. They were nice. They're expensive when you do that. They're really expensive.
Yeah. The lumber was pretty expensive.
Oh, and I did it years ago. Sapele is nice because of its hardness. It's beautiful when it machines. Being an African species, it's extremely durable. It's not Central American. It's not, it's from the African continent, and it's.
Yeah, you know what? Sorry to go off script here, but it sounds like you said you made something similar. Were they exterior doors, and what did you use for a finish?
So there was one exterior door, and the only success I had with that, I like polyurethane, and I did it every year without fail. If I didn't, I know that door would succumb eventually. But every year it got completely retreated.
Exposed to direct sun or completely out of direct sun?
Southern exposure in Chicago, depending on the time of year, means you're going to get a lot or less. But it was not it was the worst exposure to have a door on.
Okay, this is not a southern exposure with a full front porch, so the door never gets direct sun. Basically, never gets direct sun, never gets really any weather. It would have to go pretty far across the front porch. So,
Well,
Yeah, I'm humming and
it's not
hawing.
the moisture; it's the ultraviolet.
I know. It's just I'm torn. I prefer oils, and I'm just trying to figure out which one to use. I don't mind maintaining. I just don't want to change the color. I don't mind it darkening. I just don't want some of the oils that have UV protection have like a yellow tint to them.
Yeah.
And I'm stuck trying to figure out the right one.
Yeah, I'm not an expert even remotely close on finishing.
Yeah, just because you said you had done this before, I thought.
Yeah, it's Sapele, so it's going to darken with time. I mean, it will be noticeably less. It will be noticeably different 9 months later. It's all going to darken. But to me, it looks nicer when it gets a little darker.
So going back to the weather stripping, so I appreciate the suggestion for the pile. That seems like a lot. I like that it'll allow the astragal to sit, basically guaranteed flush. But you're suggesting you're going to use the S104 to maybe sink it down a little bit before you cut the curve.
Yeah, so it's going to need some breathing room, or your flat astragal's you're not going to go flat to the face of the door. And also, you would probably want to give it some breathing room because any giddy up in your doors, any warp that you're going to have, you're really going to notice it when you try to take a flat piece of lumber and apply it over the face of the inactive door. So having a natural amount of gap built in is really a good idea. And actually, I might even consider routing the entire back side of the astragal like a 1/16 of an inch, just to have relief between the backside face of the astragal and when it comes to the face of the door, the face of the inactive.
Face of the inactive.
Yeah.
And because you don't want those two doors, you don't want the astragal and the inactive door to touch?
Not well. You can't, if you have two objects that are the identical dimension. So if you cut a 36-inch wide hole for a 36-inch long piece of wood to go into, they can't occupy the same space when they're the same. That's like 10 pounds of sausage won't fit in a 10-pound bag. You need a 10.1 pound bag. And that's my only logic. You'll see, no door is laser straight. And you used 1x material. Did you use what you obviously should have done? Is it solid? Or did you laminate two boards together?
For the astragal, it's 1x and it's solid. So it was a 1x6. I'm actually doing two sets of doors. So when I say it's not an inch thick, it's 3/4. It's between 3/4 and 7/8 thick.
But what about the door construction?
The door is solid 5/4 lumber. The rails are.
So 5/4 that you've planed down.
I'm sorry?
5/4 that you've planed down to a clean, like 1 1/32, something like that?
It's about 1 1/16, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I mean, in solid boards, you're going to have, you probably had to select a lot of boards to get some that were straight.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So you're contending with our eyes imperceptible way to determine how truly flat your boards are. So you'll really see that when you try to make two doors close against each other.
Right. The only thing this guy got going in my favor is the inactive door. I forget the name of the piece of hardware, but it'll have one of those bolts that goes up and down on the inside, and I'm hoping that helps to maintain the straightness over time. Yeah.
So tell me, how wide are your stiles on these screen doors?
You're testing my. So these are very tall, very thin doors. The rails are. The total width of the door is 26, and the total height is like 92. So
how much wood is on your stiles? Is it like a 4-inch stile or something like that?
So the bottom two stiles. So it's a solid. It's a floating panel on the bottom, which again is very low, and then a custom-made tempered glass panel, interchangeable with a custom-made screen. The stiles are, I did 5/4 by, what was it, 5/4 by 8 or 5/4 by 10? Sorry, I'm saying all this from memory because it's not in front of me right now. the top rail, did you say how thick are the stiles or how thick are the rails?
How wide are the stiles?
The stiles were 5/4 by 6, so a little less than 6 inches. No, wait, I cut them down. What am I saying? I cut them down to 4.5. The stiles are 4.5.
So the next pair you make, order 12-inch wide, split it in half so that you pair match everything, so that the grain is truly pair match.
Yeah, no, I appreciate exactly what you're saying. The 5/4 by 12 was just way too expensive.
Yeah. I imagine you looked at ebony first, right, and the cost of that.
So the pegs for the tenons are ebony pegs.
Yeah.
I could only afford ebony, that small amount of ebony. So.
Yeah, just dowel. Just the dowels. That's all we could afford in ebony. We've done a lot of work, with different species of wood, walnut and everything, North American and other. But it's great. It's a very wholesome activity what you've engaged in. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a house built in like 1860 or 1870, and just
that's cool.
Where's
the house?
I'm in New Jersey.
Awesome.
All right, so this S104 idea isn't the worst idea. So I'm going to stick with that then. I appreciate the conversation, the suggestion for, how to treat the back of the astragal. That's going to help a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if we had this conversation every Saturday for the next 8 Saturdays, we're going to have 8 different ways to solve this. So,
and you guys have a million products on your website.
Yeah, well, no, we don't. We have actually 10,125,000 as of yesterday.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, cool. Hey, send me some pictures at some point. I'd love to see the finished product. I really would. I enjoy it. I don't make a living building stile and rail, but it's something that we do or have done, or I'll have a manufacturer make them. It's just, as you now appreciate, when you're really all said and done, it's really expensive to do this before you even calculate your time.
Right. What's a good either number or email address to send you pictures?
The same number you called. The same number you called. Just text them there, because that's the company.
Oh.
The company line can take texts and faxes and everything.
Oh, okay. So 844-809-3667.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that answer. Okay, awesome.
I will.
All right, I appreciate your help.
You know what I'll do is I'll send you a text from my number to your 908 number so that it comes direct to my extension only. So that, because what'll happen on Monday, people will say, "Do I need to reply to this?"
Right.
Yeah,
that would be great. If you do that, I'll send you back some pictures.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks for calling.
All right, you have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.